You know how much Spo values long trips as part of a way to bring guys closer together, bring a team closer together. It's a group that's been around each other quite a bit for the most part. But what can a trip like this do on that front as far as just strengthening bonds and all that?
I mean, obviously, it's one of those trips where, we're going to need one another. These are games that can go either way, not guaranteed wins. But, this is a good time for guys to really come together, team camaraderie. We got a long flight, so that's games, that's having communication, asking about family, whatever the case may be.
And you're tied for the league lead in shots taken on the first possession of the game. And so
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, that's what I meant. Spo is clearly trying to get you the ball, those first possessions, and sometimes it's in the flow of it, sometimes he's running an action for it. But do you like having the ball there early, and are you looking to be aggressive on that first possession for any reason?
Yeah. I feel like it kind of, sets the tone. Obviously, I've increased my touches, field goal percentage, assertiveness, and having that, you come out the game knowing like it's all right. This is a routine at this point. Obviously, we want the first bucket to be a bucket, and good, bad, or any different. It's just respect that your coach is living with you to make the first play.
Is it advantageous to see how teams are going to play you that early on in the first possession to kind of see what look they're going to give you?
Yeah, 100%. But also it gives us. Wow. Hope y'all bleep that out. That's K-Love. But it's just another way of us. Jimmy's not out. Well, Jimmy's out, and having that opportunity to just, the first possession is really take our time, see the defense, and then you go from there. So biggest thing for us is taking our time. We get the first bucket, it kind of settles everybody in.
How surprised are you? Your podcast episode with Udonis Haslem angered all of Boston.
Oh, my God, no, listen, I knew it was going to happen, but I had to share that story. Just because we know how passionate UD is. All of us who've been around him, who, you really talk to UD. He's really passionate about us. He's really passionate about the Heat. He's passionate about, who talks about us, how they talk about us. He's one of those guys that we don't listen to the noise, but he'll articulate it to us in his own way. So you know how that goes. But it's one of those things where we knew that he was going to be upset, but I felt like it was a great story to share just because it was just him at his utmost, like motivating, but / like just him being himself and just explaining it. But we have we all respect Bill Russell for what he's done for us as players, and as, black people and the stuff he had to go through. So, just to clear that air before people started talking about that, we all know we respect that man.
What will it mean to you? It's still a few weeks away, but when you can look and see 40 up there like you can see in a couple of weeks. I know UD's not real high on 6. I get that, but when just to have it up there, there's very few guys in the history of the league that average 7.5 points to get a number retired somewhere.
Yeah, but that jersey going up in the Raptors, just he's just, like I said, like he's embodied the culture. He's the frontier of this. He's the person that's like, they had an idea, they had an identity, and he's the person that fit that mold and identity. And to have a guy like that, we talk about his story, 3-time champ, and is undrafted, and to be with the same organization for 20 years is unheard of. Like I think he's one of one when it comes to that, because it's him, Kobe, Dirk, and Tim Duncan that have had one or more championships with the same organization and been there for their whole career. So yeah, that just speaks to obviously his identity of who he is and how he affects the game on and off the court through this organization.
Will he cry that day?
Yeah. I think that's a good time for him to cry. He's had a lot of ups and downs, but I feel like that's the moment he can let the tears out.
Bama, some players have New Year's resolutions, some don't. Where do you sort of lie in that, and is there something you specifically want to see out of yourself and the team going into 2024?
My resolution is just keep trying to be consistent. You know, that's the hardest thing to do in life. It's the hardest thing to do as basketball player, baseball player, no matter what your profession is or what your occupation is. You know, the hardest thing to do is be consistent, getting up every day. You know, wanting to write a story, finding the story, having to go through all that. So, you know, for me, it's being consistent.
All right, we'll go
Boom.
find stories. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.